Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a League versus League event here. We got Mad Bull Racing League versus Extreme Racing League here for the first race of the calendar of the Circuit Star Francorchamps for the Belgium Grand Prix. I am Ivor Mike, going to be taking you through the action as always, and of course, what a track we have lined up for you tonight. Spa-Francorchamps, 7 kilometers in length, a absolute behemoth of a track. And as it currently stands, we have 18 drivers in tonight. Of course, because it's a league versus league, it's 10v10. Which league's going to come out on top? Will it be Mad Bull? Will it be Extreme Racing League? That is the question. And of course, I'll be here to bring all of the action to make sure that we have everything running smoothly on stream for everyone's entertainment. Of course, 18 drivers are in at the moment, and the way I believe it's working is one driver from each league will be representing one half of a constructor team. So there'll be one ERL in a Mercedes, and the other Mercedes will be a Mad Bull Racing driver, and then so on through Ferrari, Aston, AlphaTauri, Williams, Red Bull, McLaren, all the way down to Haas. So let us go ahead and have a look at the drivers who are in the grid right now. As I believe, there we go. We'll just make sure we got the audio coming through. As I believe I'm a little bit late with getting the audio and everything set up, so I'm just making sure that my headset is the one that is connected. Make sure that the headset that we have is the one that is connected, so bear with me 2 moments. Okay, right, so we do have the audio now coming through, but there's the mic audio, and we're getting some horrible feedback from it, so we shall try to make sure that we can get game audio coming through as everything is beginning to ready up now, and we shall see what is going on. Right, hang on, I believe we might have to disconnect and reconnect the Elgato 2 seconds as everyone is filing into the session, as we just quickly make sure Everything is all good. Go onto the screen real quick and then back. We are getting audio, it's just I'm not getting it myself. That's the issue that I'm dealing with at the moment. As we have 18 drivers here in the session. Flipnam's Ram and Sinful in the Mercedes. We have Skid Solo and Slayer in the Aston Martins. We have Andrew and Rockstar in the Red Bull Racing Team. Daryl and Vans Racing in the McLaren. The Ferraris are Ibo and FT Ronk. We got the AlphaTauris of DZ Cardin and Sicario. Who else do we have here tonight? As I'm just getting everything set up, and we have to jump on board with the man in the Williams. RS 0121, and he's on his own in the Williams tonight, and I believe Woolmarks is on his own in the Haas as well. TB Ran in the Alfa Romeo along with IG Alex. The Alpines are Derry OG and Javalio. Sometimes names are very horrible for me to pronounce, but we will soldier through it. And for some reason, and it is for some reason, I am definitely not getting any audio feedback. 2 seconds, so I might actually have to open Elgato myself. That does mean I do lose the picture momentarily, but bear with me, guys, it will be back. Right, there we go. We have the audio. Well, we have the picture back, but do we have the audio back? That is the question, and the answer is no. A horrible fumbled. Horrible tech issues early on, but the man who is first out on track is the... I believe it is actually RS. If we go back on board with him as he flies up through Eau Rouge and Radion now onto the Kemmel Straight. DRS wide open as he runs down into the comms. He's fourth gear on the curb. Little bit of traffic up ahead. You'll be hoping that that car will get out of the way ASAP, and that is a McLaren who does need to get out of the way as we run down in towards Brussels, and that is a bit of a block, but a little bit of ghosting on, and I don't think RS was prepared for that. The ghosting not really ideal, I would say, but RS still on his lap. This is not going to be a big lap now, as he has officially invalidated his lap time and is backed out of it. I believe it was Darrell in behind who was the car in the way. There's a Ferrari of FT Ronk now flying through in towards the bus stop chicane. Second gear, keeping it in the second gear, now opens up DRS to the line, and he'll set the initial time of a 144.4. so FT Ronk on provisional pole for the time being. DZ car in a half a second off on a 44.9. We've got Skid Solo who's on an invalid lap time, so he's not going to be getting himself up the order. We've got an Alpine coming to the line now, and that is Derry OG. So fourth gear for Derry, downshifting into third as pretty late, and he goes a little bit deep into the corner, but DRS wide open to the line he'll go, and there's a 44 for that, and he knows there's a bit of time in that sector. Sicario there goes on provisional pole with a 43.7. Stream Racing leads Sicario there on provisional pole, as we have IG Alex there on provisional pole with a 42.5, absolutely smashing it. Alex on provisional pole for the time being, but will he stay there? That is the big question. With a time like that, it's very likely. Andrew X now to the line in the Red Bull, and he goes up onto the front row. It's a 43 flat there for Andrew. I believe the next car to the line will be Sir Ivo. I believe now we can get some audio back, and yes we do, we have the audio back. Fantastic. As Ivo crosses the line with a 48 flat, we got Skid Solo to the line now, and he'll cross the line with a 45.8. 11 drivers so far have managed to get a time on the board. We got Chevalier just beginning his lap as he goes through the source, second gear, all about the traction because you carry the speed down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. As we approach Eau Rouge, all about getting your line right because it opens it up now for Radion, and now onto the Kemmel Straight. As we go through the comms, Triple DD saying you need another invite. What is your gamer tag? Just so I know, what is your gamer tag? So I'll try and sort that out for you now, as we got Travaglio through Pouon, using a lot of curve there. Absolutely no worries whatsoever. We had a little bit of tech issues at the start of the stream, just trying to get some audio going through my headset, but I believe the audio has been okay on the stream, so I don't think the stream has lost any audio, it was just myself, which was a bit annoying. But Travaglio now coming towards Blanchimont, a little bit of a toe up ahead of him from the Aston Martin. Might help him out as he approaches the bus stop chicane, second gear. Gets the turn in lovely. Now it's all about traction, all about the exit, and he does get the traction and the exit, and it's going to be a 42.7. Chevalier there with a big lap time, pushing himself onto the front row. On board now with RS, who was trying to set a lap early on in the session, got caught out by a little bit of an issue of traffic on track, but then the traffic ghosted. But RS already abandoned his lap when he approached the back of the McLaren of, I believe it was Darrell at the time. So RS now knows that there is ghosting on, as he gets a big snap at the rear going into Brussels. And that is not what you want as you go through No Name now. Honestly, this is not so bad for RS. As long as he can get a lap time on the board, he'll be able to go again at the end of the session. And he just about keeps it all valid there in terms of the track limits. But now into the compost section. Fourth gear as we go through Stavolo now. Middle sector split 16.6. I don't think RS is absolutely going for it on this lap. I think he is just making sure he gets a lap on the board, which is smart. To the line comes RS now, and he pops himself up into P10. He knows there's more time there, so he'll definitely be okay with that. Flipnam's around, invalidating on his lap. Slayer out there now through No Name. I've raced this man many times, and I can tell you he does have pace in him, and we'll see if he can live up to the praise that I give him. We shall see. But as we approach Campos, and make sure he doesn't lose it or get an invalidation as he goes through Stavlo. Now middle sector split. Was this for Slayer? It is at 14.6 in the middle sector. Now is foot to the floor, trying to get the best line possible through Blanchimont, and then making sure you're thinking about the braking zone at the bus stop chicane. Through Blanchimont we go. Slayer in the Aston Martin, breaking down into the bus stop chicane, gets the car stopped, gets it rotated. Now it's all about traction. To the line will come Slayer, and it's going to be a 43.1, good enough for the second row at the time being. Womax in Brussels. We got Sinful now coming to the line in the Mercedes, and it's a 44.5 there for Sinful. So 3 drivers yet to set lap time. Flipnam's around, who is on another flying lap after invalidating, and we got Womax there down in 17th, and we got Vans Racing, who is still in the pit lane. FT Ronk 2 temps up in sector 1. Let's see if he can gain any more time in sector 2. Up ahead of him, I do believe that is Womax, so we'll keep an eye on Womax as well in the Haas up ahead, and we'll see what FT Ronk can do in this middle sector. He's half a second up. This is good enough to put him up into P6 currently. Let's go on board with Womax, 2 seconds, as he is just gone through Blanchimont now to the line. Can we reset the lobby, please? I can't join the session. What is your gaming tag, mate? I'll see if I can send you an invite now. Let me know what your gamer tag is. I believe, yeah, FT Ronk goes up in the P5, as I was just saying, looking at the chat, and that is a good lap time from him, much improved on his first lap. RS appears to be cutting some grass. He is doing groundkeeper work. He is cutting grass as he enters back into the pit lane. Sinful now to the line, and I believe he is just getting himself geared up to go for another lap. But that is a horrible line, and yet he's gone straight into the pits, and I don't blame him. Darrell out on track, and I believe he's just starting, so we'll stay on board with the McLaren for the time being. Triple D, if you can let me know in the chat what your gamer tag is, I can try and send you an invite, try and get you to join. As Darrell now absolutely going for it, he is flying as we go through Brussels now into No Name. 5th gear there for the McLaren as he comes down now in towards Pouon. 7th gear holding it in, little lift off, but he is going to keep it all valid, all within track limits as we head to the Campos section. 5th gear, the gear of choice there for Darrell. Traffic getting out of the way as we go in towards Stavolo. 6 temps up in the middle sector, and this is good enough to put him up ahead of FT Ronk. Can he gain enough time to get himself ahead of Slayer or Andrew through this final sector? Time will tell as we head towards Blanchimont now. Into the bus stop chicane. 3rd gear there for Darrell as he now focus on traction. DRS wide open to the line, he'll come, and it is P5. He does get close to Slayer's time, but not close enough to overtake him. Meanwhile, we have Andrew 2.5 temps up in sector 1 as he gets very wide on the exit of No Name there. 6th gear through Buon, quickly upshifting into 7th as we head to the combo section. As the curb starts on the left hand side, he broke down, threw it in, through Stavolo now, 3rd gear, and he's still 2.5 tenths up. This is good enough to get him onto the front row. Currently he can get ahead of Travaglio, who is joined on the front row by IG Alex. So this will be interesting. Can Andrew get himself onto the front row? Can Andrew get himself on the provisional pole? That is the question. Breaking down in towards the bus stop chicane, runs very deep there. That's going to compromise him on the exit, but we'll see if he can find the time. To the line he'll go, and it is a 42.6. So Andrew onto the front row he goes, splitting Travaglio and Alex. Slayer now just starting a lap himself, breaking down into the source. And this will be good for him because he's going to have a nice little bit of tow down the Kemmel Straight. A little bit of long range tow from the Alfa Romeo up ahead. And he's trying to take every little bit of tow that he can. And he needs it because he's 400ths down through Sector 1. Now through the comms and on the exit now in towards Brussels. Through No Name now, 4th gear, switching up into 5th gear, down towards Puon. 7th gear for Slayer, gets very close to the track limits here, but it's all valid as we go into the combo section now. Oh, and he's won very wide, and that's an invalidation there for Slayer as we head into Stavolo, and that is his lap over and done with. And I wonder if he was going to be up on that time or if he was going to be down. Carden just starting a lap. Simple has just started a lap as well. He is flying down towards the first sector split, and he's a 10.5 down. We'll check back up on Simple later on in his lap. Womax also invalidated his lap. Vans is just starting his first flying lap of the session. And I wonder if that is Triple D, potentially, who was asking for another invite. Maybe he was Vans, who we haven't seen out on track at all throughout the session. Alex is done for the session. So is Andrew. So is Sicario. So is Derry. FT Ronk retiring from the session as well. We have a Mercedes to the line, and that is not Flip Nancer Ram, that is Sinful. So we got Sinful to be the first man to get to the checkered flag here in qualifying. Let's see if Sinful can get himself into the top 10. He's currently in P11. Breaking down into the bus stop chicane. Small screen freeze there, but through the bus stop chicane goes Sinful. DRS wide open to the line, he'll go. And he improves by 2 tenths, but does not get himself into the top 10. Next car to the line, I believe it's an Alpha Tauri, and that is Carden. And I believe right behind Carden we have Travaglio. But we'll stay on board with Carden. Carden to the line now for the bus stop chicane. He'll go. Currently in P10. Can he get himself a little bit further up the grid? Yes, he can. He gets himself up into P4. Travaglio improves and gets up onto the front row ahead of Andrew there. So Andrew picked by Travaglio. Carton gets himself up onto the second row. Slayer invalidating his lap. He's done for the session as Darrell is to check a flag out on him, so I don't think it's going to be a competitive lap time there, but Rockstar is still out there. And he is considerably off his time, so I believe that is the end of the session. As Slayer will peel off into the pits, and I believe we will see Rockstar peel off into the pits as well. In fact, no, he's not. He's just going to cross the line, make sure that he completes his lap. And Womax actually, Womax has, oh my god, Womax has absolutely gone skidding across the start finish line, and that is qualifying over and done with, and he'll take the final spot on the grid. But let's go through the order. It is IG Alex on pole position with a 42.5, just under 800ths of a second ahead of Travaglio in second place, Andrew in third, Cardin in fourth, Slayer in fifth, Darrell in sixth, Sicario in seventh, FT Ronk in eighth, TB Ran in ninth, Derry, my guy Derry there, the fellow Welshman there in P10 in the Alpine on a 44 flat, Sinful in 11th, Vans in 12th, Rockstar in 13th, RS 14th, 15th for Skid Solo, Ibo in 16th, Flipnam, Zaram and Rumax unable to get lap times on the board, so they'll be starting 17th and 18th. FT Ronk's secret sauce is orange juice. That is not a bad secret sauce. I can't lie. If you don't like a bit of orange juice, and I don't know what's wrong. Like, you gotta have a bit of juice in your life, Orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice, tropical juice. You have whatever juice you want. As we wait for these guys to get their setups all sorted, it is the League versus League event. It is Extreme Racing League versus Mad Dog Racing League. I am, of course, Ivan Mike, taking you through the action as we get ready to start this race. We are still waiting for players, so hopefully the lobby hasn't crashed, but we'll keep you updated in the stream. And in fact, we are good as the formation lap is underway. So let's have a look at the tyre compounds everyone has selected. It is hard compound tyres for IG Alex after a fantastic pole position from him on his first lap that he set as well, to be fair to him. Travaglio on the front row on the set of the medium is going to be looking to jump Alex off the start and try and use those medium compound tyres to pull away. Andrew opting to go long in the first stint on the set of the hard compound tyres. Then we have medium tyres from Cardin in P4 all the way down to my fellow Welshman Derry in P10. And we hope Derry does well. When you've got a Welshman commentating over another Welshman, you hope the Welshman does well. Then we've got Sinful on the set of the hard compound tyres. Mediums for Vans, who is in the wall right now, so probably warming his tyres up a little bit too much, losing control of his car. Rockstar also on the mediums. RS on the mediums. Skid Solo on the set of the hards. Sir Ibo opting for the Red Wool soft tyres, so he's going completely different to everyone else, as we got Flipnam Zaram and Womax on the set of the medium compound tyres at the back of the grid. So guys, what I want to hear now in the chat is your predictions. Who is going to be taking the victory here? Who is going to be on the podium? Let me know in the chat. Let me know your predictions. Race winner and podium. I will give my prediction as well. To be fair, I think Alex, the pace he showed just on our one lap in qualifying, I think he's got the pace to take the victory here tonight. So I'm going to go Alex for the win. I think Travaglio will be second. And you know what? I'm going to throw out Slayer for that final spot on the podium. I think, from what I remember, his start's usually pretty decent. If he can get past Carton early on and Andrew, he'll be looking pretty decent. So my top three would be Alex, Travaglio and Slayer, as everyone is now lining up on the grid. Here's a short run in towards turn number one as we got Slayer, Darrell and Sicario and Skid Solo there, failing to get in the grid positions correctly and getting disqualified from the session. So they start a little bit further back than what they would like. as we wait for everyone to line up, and here we go. Five red lights. They are out and we are underway, and it looks like a very good start there from Andrew, who's going to get the jump on Travaglio early on as we go through turn one side by side, as everyone hopefully keeping it clean in behind, as it's 2x2 like Noah's Ark as we head down into Eau Rouge and Radion. Ghosting on for the early phase of the race. As FT Ronk now looking to try and make a move up the order. TB Ran going through there. Ghosting with Derry there. So the Welshman getting off to a good start. Things you love to see as he is down in P7. Currently top 5 stay as they are. TB Ran under pressure from Derry for P6. And these two are ghosting through each other. So it's difficult to find out who's going to come out on top there, but as it currently stands, no one really having major issues. Womack's 1.7 seconds off of Van, so he's had this pretty poor start there, has the Haas driver. Derry now up into P5 as Slayer there making a mistake. He's dropping down behind TB Ran as well, so he's down into P7. So my prediction for the final spot on the podium, not really going too well, as Slayer's dropping back. The Welshman off to a flying start. He's up in the P5. The top 3 are flying. As Andrew on the back of Travaglio. As long as he can keep with Travaglio, it'll be good for Andrew on those hard tyres. But Travaglio has broken out 1 second. Little bit of timing glitch going on with Cardin and Derry for the moment, as Derry and TB Ran, little bit of contact made between the pair of them, as it looks like now the ghosting is turned off, as it looked like Alex again very loose on top of Radion, but he is still in the race lead as we got Travaglio closing him down. Not quite close enough. I'm sorry I did not have the all the information up there for everyone, and that is heartbreaking stuff. But as it currently stands, Alex still leads ahead of Travaglio. Andrew in 3rd place, holding on. Cardin there in 4th. Derry in a bit of a clear air now. He's like probably about 2 seconds off the back of Cardin, and he has TB Ran and Slayer joining in behind. FT Ronk in P8 right now. Nice gap in behind him to Van's Racing as Slayer's around. He's lost there through Pouon. And there goes my podium prediction out the window early on. Let me know in the chat your podium predictions. As Slayer has gone spinning all the way down into last place. Andrew getting close to the back of Travaglio for 2nd place. The hards versus the medium compounder tyres. Big lock up from Andrew there to avoid going into the back of Travaglio. That's going to compromise him through the bus stop chicane. Might put him under pressure from Cardin in behind. As Cardin and Derry actually setting the new fastest lap of the race. So Derry absolutely flying in the back. As everything looks like it has stabilised in terms of the timing and that. So we shall see if Sicario can get past Vans here, as we've got a yellow flag, and I'm not sure who that's for. I think it is for Ibo, who has lost it. Sicario just cruising straight past Vans here with DRS, as Womack goes past Skid Solo for P10. So Womack's on the back of the grid, climbing himself up into the top 10, but still under some pressure from Skid Solo. Daryl and Flipnams Aram there scrapping, as Flipnams Aram there clipping the wall, and that is not what you like to see. Sinful all over the back of Rockstar for P12 as well. At the front though, Alex has pulled away from Travaglio in terms of the race lead, as it looks like Ibo has lost it again. Flipnams around, picking up a 3-second time penalty early on in this race. TB Ran and Derry side by side, and TB Ran there taking a trip into the gravel. He's lost a lot of time. FT Ronk now going to be able to close up using a bit of overtake as well. So FT Ronk sees his opening, sees his opportunity to gain a position here, and he has Sicario in behind him, putting him under pressure. Sicario not going to go for a move into the bus stop chicane. That's wise. Save it up, set it up for turn 1 if you can. All about the traction, and he does get the traction, but he's not going to use his ERS. Skid solo getting past Womax as well for P10 in the back. But we're going to stick on board with this battle, because this is where we're going to see some overtakes happen. FT Ronk, Sicario, who is going to come out on top here. Cardin on the back of Andrew as well. We could see an overtake happen for P3 as well, but here comes Sicario. He's just going to cruise straight past FT Ronk. Nothing Ronk can do about it, and he's going to drop in behind Cardin, unable to get through on Andrew, so he stays in P4. And the longer this goes on, the more it favours the likes of Andrew, the likes of Alex, because of their hard compound tyres. Sicario, oh, big lock up on the rears, losing control of his car momentarily, and that is Derry. Derry has lost it on the exit of Brussels, and he, I believe, may have front wing damage, and I believe he does have front wing damage, and that's caused a full course safety car, as RS has retired from the session, and absolute carnage has happened here. What has gone on? My God, what are we seeing by here? Absolute carnage at the back. We wasn't on board to see what happened, but we lost out on Flip Namzaram and RS, both retiring from the session. That is not great, and it's brought out a safety car, so that does equalise things and bunches everyone back up together. GB Ran peeling off into the pit, so is Sicario. FT Ronk in as well. Van's in. Derry needs to come in because he has to change his front wing. Skid Solo going to be promoted up into P5. What is going on here? Oh my God. Alex, Cardin, Travaglio, Andrew all picking up penalties. What's going on here? Andrew's been disqualified from the race. What is going on? Travaglio's peeling off to the side as well. He's retired from the session. Swift car's out. Alex is retired from the session. Alex has left the session as well. I'm wondering if there was a crossplay issue that has caused all this. But Travaglio, Alex and Andrew, first, second and third, all retiring from the race, and it has to be crossplay related. Of course, I do know about a glitch that when people leave the lobby, it does cause screen freezes. So I'm wondering if that's what's happened, as Andrew's left the session as well. So of course we saw RS leave the session after retiring, and I think that has caused a big screen freeze moment, and Alex, Travaglio and Andrew being victims there with regards to the issues early on in this game cycle. Absolute calamities here. Alex, Travaglio and Andrew all, they were comfortably in the top 3. Safety car comes out, and I don't know what's happened. I can only assume that with RS leaving the lobby, it's caused a massive screen freeze issue, and all 3 of them have, well, ended up screen freezing into oblivion, and carnage has happened. Carden into the pits as well. He's getting rid of that time penalty because he was also caught up in it. If they are in the stream right now, if Alex, Travaglio or Andrew are in the stream, let me know what exactly happened there. As we got support for FT Ronk in the chat, and he's currently up in P5 right now. He's made a pit stop, and he will try to get those tyres all the way to the end. He should be able to get them to the end, to be fair. A hard compound tyre support in year 4. FT Ronk. We'll try to make sense of what has happened. Like I said, the only thing I can think of is if when RS left the session, it caused a big screen freeze moment for Alex, Travaglio and Andrew, and they are not happy with that, and they've all retired from the race. And now that completely throws my podium predictions out the window, as the safety car is in this lap. So Skid Solo, our new race leader, will get us underway, and he's going to back up the pack. Womack's in second place on the set of those mediums. We'll see if he can make this strategy work for him. TB Ran now in a net race lead after making his pit stop. Sicario in a net P2. FT Ronk in a net P3. But he does have Vans right behind him on fresh soft tyres, so this could be interesting. Derry in P7, but he's in a net P5 as we wait to see when Skid is going to go. And he's left it very late indeed. And we are racing once again. TB Ran immediately on Womack's, going to try and outbrake him down in towards turn 1. Womack's around the outside, going to be able to get that done. Sicario is there as well, but he's going to be trying to go for an overtake on TB Ran. TB Ran unable to maintain a spot ahead of Womack's, and now is under pressure from Sicario. Sicario all over the back of TB Ran, who is all over the back of Womack's. We got FT Ronk there in the back as well. Will we see any overtakes happen? Not into the comms. But in towards Brussels. TB Ran down the inside into Brussels, and here comes Sicario, going to sneak down the inside as well as Womack's goes very deep. FT Ronk comes through as well, and oh my god, he got up onto that curb, and that is not what you want there. Womack's up onto the outside curb, and he got absolutely hooked, and that has allowed the likes of FT Ronk and Derry to just cruise through, as well as Vans. Rockstar's around on those soft tyres. Rockstar losing, oh my god, Cardin and Rockstar, oh my god. And that is another safety car. Rockstar trying to come back onto the track. I think he was initially ghosted, but when he came back onto the track, he unghosted at the worst time, and Cardin there absolutely smashing into him, and that is Rockstar out of this race. We was on board with that. We saw it. That was a nasty collision between Rockstar and Cardin. Now we'll see if anyone will peel off into the pits. Yep, Van's in, and that is a smart call. Sinful in as well. Womack should be in also, and yes he is, and Carden definitely will be in for a front wing change, that is for sure. Skid Solo yet to make a pit stop. So Skid is out of sync with everyone in the race so far. As we look at the pit stops, here we go, and we can see that Skid Solo has not made a pit stop. He is out of sync with everyone else on track, and that puts TV Ran in the net race lead, Sicario in the net P2, FT Ronk in the net P3, and that is good for the support in the chat, because there's a lot of support for FT Ronk in the chat. He's in a net P3 right now. We have honestly, we have my fellow Welshman, my guy Derry. You'll love to see it. The Welshman up in P5 and net P4. Daryl in P6, net P5. And then of course we got Slayer with that time penalty, and he's in a net P6, but he's going to be under pressure to keep a hold of that net P6 with that 3-second time penalty. Ibo in P8 with Vans in P9. Sinful in P10. Womax now closing up to the grid in P11. Carden in P12. Let's have a look at the tyres. Vans and Sinful opting for set the yellow wool medium compound tyres, as Womax and Carden making the logical choice to go to a set of hards to the end of the race. We've had 2 safety cars so far. First safety car for an incident which saw RS and Flipnam Zaram retire from the race, and then when I believe RS left the lobby, we had a big screen freeze moment which caused Alex Travaglio and Andrew to make insane contact with each other apparently, and all get penalties, and they decided that it's not worth it, we're retiring, we're getting disqualified, it's not on. And then of course we saw the incident with Rockstar and Carden moments ago. Rockstar losing it through Puon and then trying to come back onto the track. Carden just taking his line, and the ghosting system did not work, and Rockstar out of this race, and the second safety car has come out. Skid Solo still yet to make a pit stop. He is the only man who has yet to make a pit stop. He is out of sync with everyone in this race, and he needs another safety car to come out to make sure that he can make that pit stop and lose minimal time, as the safety car is out for another lap. So while the safety car is out for another lap, we'll try and get information on what exactly happened with Flip and RS. So while we're getting this information, guys, we have 12 drivers remaining. We're on lap 9 of 22. The safety car is out for the second time in this race. Skid Solo is the race leader. Alex Travaglio and Andrew definitely look like they were free guys, and we're going to scrap it out for the win. But unfortunately, I believe a screen freeze moment happened between the three of them, and all three of them deciding to call it quits in this race. Rockstar out of this race after trying to come back onto the track after losing it through Puon, colliding with Carden. Carden all the way down at the back of the grid now. And an incident happened early on which brought out the first safety car. RS and Flipnam Zaram both retiring in that incident. Absolute carnage happening towards the back end of that grid, and I have no idea what happened. We're trying to get information on what happened there from drivers involved. Hopefully they will respond and let us know what exactly went on, so we can give you, the viewers, the better picture of what transpired in that moment. But with 12 drivers remaining, now it is anyone's race. Safety car in this lap. Skid Solo yet to make a pit stop. He is out of sync with everyone else in this race. TB Ran is effectively the net race leader. Sicario net P2. FT Ronk, the fan favourite in the chat, is in a net P3. The commentator's fan favourite in P5 right now, and he's only the fan favourite for the commentator because he is from the same nation. The Welsh support the Welsh. Derry in a net P4. Darrell in a net P5. And continuing down to Carton, who's in a net P11, as Sicario is leaving it late to go once again. And now we are racing for a third time this race. Sicario's not close enough, but Skid Solo under pressure from TB Ran, who sends one down the inside. Does not get the traction on the exit though to keep that position, and now it's deja vu all over again. TB Ran tried to get the move done, wasn't able to get the move done, and now it's opened it up as who is going to come out in the race lead. TB Ran going to look around the outside of the Combos section, Le Combs, as, oh my god, FT Ronk down the inside of Sicario. Sicario so focused on what's going on ahead of him. A little bit of contact between TB Ran and Skid Solo, and more contact between Darrell and Sicario. Derry up in the P3 right now, as big dive from Darrell down the inside of Sicario. Switch back there from the Alpha Tauri, and he keeps a hold of P4. Darrell there going for it. Oh my god, Sicario's gone. Sicario on that exit curve, and he is around and falling down the order quite drastically. Oh, is it Derry into the back of FT Ronk, and Darrell now throwing up into P2, Slayer into P3. Derry is going again. I'm not sure what exactly went on there. FT Ronk all the way down into P7. That is not an instant he'll be too happy with. And neither will Derry, to be fair. I'm sure both of them will be blaming each other in their respective driving seats. TB Ran though, 3-second lead now. He got ahead of Skid Solo. Little bit of contact made between the pair of them though, so that could come back to bite him. Darrell now up into P2. Slayer into P3. Lap 11 of 22. TB Ran still leading away ahead of Darrell in second place. Slayer in P3 has a big old train behind him as Vans, Derry, Sinful and FT Ronk and Carden. Carden in P8 looks like he's going to try to go for a move potentially on FT Ronk, and yes he is. He's going to have a look down the inside into the comms. Bit of a screen freeze there, but he makes it through, and up in the P7 goes Carden. Carden trying to make his way back into this race after what happened early on with Andrew, IG, Alex and Travaglio. I mean, Carden was involved in all that as Derry puts up a 3-second time penalty, and that is that Womax and Ibo around? Yes it is. Womax and Ibo falling down the order. Well, we've got a virtual safety car right now. A virtual safety car has come out. I'm not entirely sure why, but it has neutralized this race. Lap 11 of 22. TB Ran leading the way. Darrell in P2, Slayer in P3, Vans in P4, with Derry in P5. Sinful P6, Carden in P7, FT Ronk in P8, Womax in P9, Ibo in P10. Then of course we got Skid Solo yet to make a pit stop in P11, and Sicario in P12. So Slayer getting very close to the back as Sinful and Derry there trading positions, and that's because Derry is into the pits. As a safety car has been called in, so Derry into the pits. He's clicking on a set of the medium compound tyres. As here we go, Carton on Sinful immediately. As soon as we go green flag, Carton gonna look to try and make this move, make it side by side into Rouge and Radio. No, he's gonna back out. That's smart stuff to back out there. Make sure you go for the move down the Kemmel Street with DRS, with ERS. And Carton should be able to just cruise through up into P5. Around the outside he'll go. Oh, they need to keep it clean here, and they do keep it clean. Respect to both of them for doing so, as Carton now up ahead of Sinful in P5. Sinful there goes a bit deep, a bit off track, missing his braking point, I think, by some considerable margin. Meanwhile, up ahead, Van's on the back of Slayer. Slayer losing touch with Darrell up ahead. He's in a McLaren sandwich. There's a McLaren sandwich with an Aston Martin fill-in. Doesn't sound like the best sandwich. Sounds a bit gone off. I can't lie. Slayer under pressure now from Vans. Vans, of course, on the set of the medium compound tyre, so he does have the quicker compound underneath his car to be able to try and make positions up, but whether he will or he won't, that remains to be seen. As he gets onto the curb through Broncho, and that's definitely costing him a bit of time. Slayer trying to close back up to Darrell here for P2. Everything staying as it is currently. No one close enough to an overtake yet. Slayer is the closest one onto the back of Darrell for P2. 3.7 seconds the gap between Darrell and TB Ran. As Slayer still not close enough to get a move done on Darrell. Everyone else still a bit spread out. As I have a little bit of an audio issue. As Derry picks up another 3-second time penalty, and that is not good for him. I'm just checking the stream 2 seconds, make sure you guys are not hearing the same audio issues I am. Give me just two seconds. Yes, you are. You are picking up the same audio issues I am. So it is a game issue. So we have an audio issue with the game, and it's not the best, and hopefully we can try and sort this out ASAP. As we'll try and get the audio. Yeah, the audio issue is a little bit off-putting with going on board. So we'll try and avoid going on board with drivers, as it looks like Carton has lost it. And he is around and he's lost it again. Can't get the car going in a straight line. So it is a... Oh, is he reversing? Derry's out of this race. And that's a third safety car. That's a third safety car in this race. Carton reversed back onto the track, unghosted, and Derry goes straight through as Sicario gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit, under safety car conditions. It has all gone horribly wrong here. So we have audio issues from a spectator standpoint. We have screen freeze issues as well for certain drivers out on track, and we've had a few as well from a commentary standpoint. No frames have been dropped on stream, so it is all server related. And there we go, that's proof. Audio issues seem to be fixing themselves now. What a interesting situation with the audio there. But lap 15 of 22, TB ran on a set of the mediums, going to go to the end. Slayer on a set of the mediums. Darrell opting for a set of the soft compound tyres, and he got held up in the pit slightly because he has dropped down behind Slayer. Sinful in P4. Sicario has retired from the session, knows that his race is over and done with that drive-through penalty. Van's in P5. FT Ronk still with a great opportunity to get himself a podium here, because obviously Slayer with that time penalty, he has fresher tyres and Van's in front of him, and if Darrell and Sinful's soft tyres drop off at the end of the race, FT Ronk can find himself on the podium. Rumax in P8, Carton in P7. Sicario has left the session. Heartbreak for him. Skid Solo as Womax has retired from the session as well. I'm not sure if that's driver related. I think he's just left the session. I think he's just done. I think he is just done. So we have seen many issues immediately with the racing. I do know that there's meant to be a patch that comes out tomorrow, so hopefully that fixes a lot of the issues that we've seen here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Safety car will be out for another lap. Obviously trying to have a look now and see who's remaining for each team from their respected leagues. So we still have Sinful in the Mercedes for Mad Dog Racing. We still have Carton in the AlphaTauri for Mad Dog Racing. FT Ronk in the Ferrari for Mad Dog Racing. And I believe, yeah, Skid Solo. So we have 4 drivers remaining for the one side, and so we got Sinful, FT Ronk, Skid Solo, and Carton remaining for Mad Dog Racing. We have TB Ran, Slayer, Ibo, Darrell, and Womax remaining for Extreme Racing League. So as it currently stands, Extreme Racing League are coming out on top here with 3 drivers in the top 3. Actually, no. I think Vans is in Mad Dog as well. So I'm a little bit mistaken. I believe that Mad Dog Racing has 5 drivers still in this race, and Extreme Racing League has 4. But 3 of those 4 drivers are in first, second, and third. Ibo is the 4th down in P8. Believe Sinful, Vans, FT Ronk, Skid Solo, and Carton all representing Mad Dog Racing. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th position currently as the top 3 are Extreme Racing League, and then of course Ibo in P8 also Extreme Racing League. Lap 16 of 22. We're going to get racing once again for lap 17, and we're going to be green flag racing. TB Ran gets us underway, and we are back under green flag conditions once again. Now with Daryl and Sinful on a set of those soft tyres and Skid Solo, will these guys be able to make moves and get themselves up the order? FT Ronk on the back of Vans. Now this could be a big move, because FT Ronk can definitely get himself a podium position here, as we got Carden and Ibo trading positions here. Carden up into P8, Ibo down to P9. As FT Ronk now on the back of Vans Racing. He's not going to be close enough to make a move, and he's not using his ERS, he's not using his battery. And if he can get ahead of Vans, pull a gap, he can maybe take advantage of Slayer's time penalty. And for Daryl and Sinful, if their soft tyres drop off, then FT Ron can take advantage of that as well. So a podium spot is still on for Vans and FT Ron. As TB Ran looks like he's just got the pace on these guys. He is already a second clear of Slayer. Slayer 1.3 seconds ahead as Vans picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's just made his podium chances diminish heavily, as he has joined the 3-second time penalty club with Slayer and Carden. But FT Ronk going to be looking to get a move done, and going on board again with FT Ronk, and we hear the audio issues that we had earlier in the game, and that is not what we want to hear. But FT Ronk all over the back, not going to go for a move. Meanwhile, Carden is going to go for a move on Skid Solo. FT Ronk actually was going to go for a move on Vans. It looked like he was going to back out of it. FT Ronk up in the P5, Carden up in the P7, and now FT Ronk needs to pull away from Vans, because Carden is coming through, and on those soft tyres he's coming through quick. Carden all over the back of Vans. Lap 18 of 22. TB Ran still leads the way. Slayer in second place. Daryl in P3. As here goes Carden now making a move on Vans side by side as they run down into Lick Holmes, and Carden will at the inside line, and nothing that as he gets a bit of a wiggle, and that's allowed Vans come back in, and Carden's lost the car again on the curb and comes into contact with Vans, and Carden once again back down to the back of the grid, and honestly that could be race over for Carden now. Chances of a safety car are very minimal at this point. I mean, we've seen a fair few. We've seen a virtual safety car. Vans picking up another 3-second time penalty, so it's not going well for him. FT Ronk pulling away from Vans, but he needs to kind of close this gap up to Daryl and Sinful. And it does look like the medium tyres just aren't giving quite enough at this stage, but there's still 4 more laps to go, so FT Ron can still come through and pick up a podium here. But Slayer kind of safe now with his 3-second time penalty from Sinful, so it's an intriguing one. Sinful dropping out that 3-second window, and that means Slayer has a podium in his hand, and he was one of the 3 drivers I put money on for a podium, and I put him on down for P3. And as it currently stands, he's going to finish the race in P3. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. 3 seconds for Slayer, 6 seconds for Vans. Carton retiring from the race. And honestly, yeah, it was race over once he lost the car and made contact with the wall. It was always going to be a race over for him. Gaps kind of spreading themselves out now. This is the closest battle that we have, Skid Solo and Vans, but we'll come back on board with that if it gets a bit closer. Because at the head we got Slayer closing in on TB Ran, Daryl closing in on Slayer. And remember, while Slayer has that 3-second time penalty, if he can get himself into the DRS range of TB Ran, he can maybe try and get himself out of that 3-second window to Daryl. But Daryl is in within 1 second now. And he is going to have DRS. So Daryl is closing up and he looks like he's going to be the man on a mission here. He hasn't got the ERS, but with DRS he is going to close up Slayer within that 1 second window now of TB Ran. Oh, it's getting close. It's getting close. Slayer not quite close enough for DRS, so he is going to miss out. Potentially, I don't think he's got it. No, he hasn't. Meanwhile, in the back, Skid Solo all over the back of Vans. The battle for P6. Obviously, Vans will drop behind with that time penalty, but it's going to be about a bit of pride for Skid Solo. Just get this done on track. Slayer closing in on TB Ran, but is not really going to matter with that 3-second time penalty as Skid Solo cruises through up in the P6. Thank you, job done. Everything kind of spread out now. Daryl losing out to Slayer massively in terms of the time. FT Ronk, I haven't forgot about him. We're monitoring his gap to Sinful, because if the time is coming down rapidly, and it is coming down but not quite rapidly yet, we could see FT Ronk put a challenge in the final couple of laps, because those soft tyres could fall off here. Audio issues again in the game, and it's not what we like to hear. It sounds so distorted, the engines and that. It's just not what we want to hear. Slayer within DRS now of TB Ran, and this is big for Slayer because he could get himself out of 3 seconds of Daryl, especially with Daryl's tyres beginning to drop off. FT Ronk is closing in, and in fact, no, that is Ibble that's gone around. I thought that was FT Ronk losing out there massively. 5.1 seconds the gap between FT Ronk and Sinful. These soft tyres are beginning to drop off now. Slayer could keep a hold of P2 here. Daryl and Sinful could potentially see their tyres completely fall off a cliff, and FT Ronk could get himself that final step on the podium. And TB Ran has just picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. Now it is race on. This is for the race win. Daryl will have seen the 3-second time penalty pop up. He now knows he's in with a chance of taking the race win as well. He just needs to make sure he stays within 3 seconds of these guys. We are on the penultimate lap of the race. TB Ran and Slayer both have 3 seconds of time penalties. They are both scrapping out for the race win. On track. Meanwhile, you got Daryl in the background, 2.5 seconds off the back of Slayer. He's losing out. His tyres are beginning to fall off, but he still has a chance of a win here if he can stay within 3 seconds of TB Ran and Slayer. And this is where it's all going to come down to it. It's all going to come down to this final lap with DRS. Slayer is close enough to potentially put TB Ran under pressure. TB Ran has no ERS. Slayer has 10% more. This is going to get very spicy for the final lap of the race. Slayer with DRS advantage, with the ERS advantage. TB Ran looks like he's got the traction advantage though out of the bus stop chicane, and now we're going to see it. We're going to see overtake be used by Slayer. He's going to close up. The flashing red light means that TB Run has less than 10%. Slayer up the top of the hill. He's going to be on his ERS once again with DRS now. This could be the overtake for the race lead. Here comes the overspeed. Here comes the Aston Martin to the outside, and TB Run unable to keep a hold of that position. Slayer into the race lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's all about, can they get a 3-second gap to Darrell? That is the question. And we're going to go on this on the gap to the leader and keep an eye on this, because it is 2.8 seconds. Darrell still in position to take a race win here. Slayer currently leading out on track, and he's not doing enough to take the win. 2.7 seconds. We have 2.5 tenths between Darrell and Slayer, and it is looking like Darrell may just about do enough to take the race win here. The final lap of the race is all drama here in Belgium. Slayer is 2.8. Is 2.8. Slayer's using everything he has left, but I believe so is Darrell. Darrell's using everything. Slayer 2.8 seconds. Needs a good bus stop chicane. This has to be perfect from Slayer. The bus stop chicane. He gets the good exit. Is he going to be able to take the win? No. Darrell will jump the pair of them and take the victory out on track. He stayed within that 3-second time penalty, and he gets the job done. Sinful comes home in P4. FT Ronk, unable to get himself into the fight in the end, comes home in P5. Skid Solo in P6. Vans will come home in P7. And last but most certainly not least, Sir Ibo in P8. And my 2/10 of a second was the difference between Darrell finishing second and Darrell jumping Slayer for the race win. 2/10 of a second was all that was in it. Darrell takes the race win, and that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 Extreme Racing League. And Ibo coming home in P8, obviously at the back of the grid, but he does cross the line for Extreme Racing League. And then we got Sinful, FT Ronk, Skid Solo and Vans for Mad Dog Racing. So it ended with 4 drivers from each prospective league. We had a few issues in the lobby, a few glitches coming through, screen freezes, absolute chaos at times, audio issues as well from us in the spectator mode. Darrell gets driver of the day, and honestly it's difficult to argue with it. I mean, TB Ran drove fantastic as well. I mean, it's one of them of what a race this could have been without the issues which saw several of the drivers retiring from the race. But it is that man Darrell taking the victory in the first race of the ERL versus MDRL event, which of course takes place throughout the summer. Is Extreme Racing League 1, 2, 3. And we'll run you for the order one more time. Darrell takes victory ahead of Slayer in second place, TB Ran in third, Sinful in fourth, FT Ronk in fifth, Skid Solo in sixth, Vans Racing in seventh, and Sir Ibo is the final finisher in P8. Then our non-finishers, and this is quite a hefty list. We have DZ Karting, Woomax, Sicario, Derry, Rockstar, IG, Alex, Travaglio, RS, Flipnam Zaram, and of course Andrew, all failing to see the checker flag through one way or another, whether it was through incidents, through screen freezes, glitches. It all happened, and of course that brings an end to round number 1. So what we will do now is show you guys the calendar moving forward. So there we go. Of course, today we was at Belgium on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central European time. I believe that's correct, isn't it? Central European time? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But I know it is 1 hour ahead of the British summertime. So it is 7 p.m. for everyone in the UK, 8 p.m. for everyone that's an hour ahead, and we'll go from there. But it is Zandvoort up next on Wednesday. Now there is meant to be a patch that comes out this week, so we should hopefully have a smoother lobby, and we hope that we do have a smoother lobby, because I believe that with how much better the game feels in terms of how the car drives, if you have a smoother lobby, we'll get better racing. And of course, that is what we all want to see. So until next time, guys, I have been Ivory Mike, and we'll see you next week, next Wednesday for round number 2 at Zandvoort. Until then, guys, goodbye.